And what are your thoughts on Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5? I have a lot to say about that. So welcome back everybody. Today's episode is going to be pretty interesting as I recently hit 5,000 subscribers, which at the very least to me is a pretty big milestone considering that I've been trying to do YouTube for the last couple of years. So I wanted to celebrate this moment by actually having a Q&A session and actually giving you guys a chance to ask a couple of questions and for me to be able to engage with you back in a much more humane manner than just responding to your comments. So with that said, I've gathered up all of your questions from all of the posts I've made in regards to the 5,000 subscriber milestone and the Q&A, so I would like to go ahead and actually answer all of those for you, starting right now. And the very first question is going to be, what are your thoughts on Xbox Series X versus the PlayStation 5? And so my thoughts here are that, honestly, I still think that PlayStation 5 is going to win this generation, if I'm going to be completely honest. And it's because the best games, at the very least when it comes to any kind of exclusives, from my preference, tend to go to Sony all of the time first. Like for a very long time, Kingdom Hearts used to go there. And, well, like Final Fantasy still goes to the PlayStation no matter what. And in terms of the differences in hardware, we don't exactly know for sure which one is going to be more powerful than the other, though we do kind of know that the Xbox might be, at the very least, a little bit more powerful than the PS5. However, those differences are going to be very negligible in my opinion, and this is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I'm actually very happy that they went ahead and redesigned the DualShock 4 controller to be this more Xbox-esque style controller that I think actually looks pretty awesome, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that. And with that said, I think that Xbox is going to deliver on much greater competition this time around, for sure. However, I still kind of feel like Sony is still going to win again, but more on that soon, I suppose. And then next up, have you thought about reviewing the next generation consoles when they come out? The answer is absolutely yes. I'm actually planning on buying both of them, and as you already know, I do have a preference towards Sony, so I will be getting the PlayStation 5 for sure, but I'm still getting the Xbox Series X for the sake of reviewing it and testing it, and then testing other accessories surrounding it, and be able to make a proper comparison between the two. So yes, I do actually plan on owning both consoles, which means that I will be reviewing both of them, so there's a lot of content coming in regards to that in the future. Haha, and the next question would be, what are your daily drivers, from your phone to your laptop, that you use for editing, including any kind of headphones or earbuds? And this was actually one of my favorite questions. So what I use for my daily drivers is going to depend on what I'm doing that day. However, since we've been quarantined for so long, I can pretty much safely say that my daily drivers have been my custom build for editing, which is comprised of an RTX 2080 and an Intel Core i7-8700K and 64 gigs of RAM, which is a more recent update for sure. And as for my phone, I actually use my Google Pixel 4 for the most part, and I also have my iPhone SE over here on the side, since now I am that kind of YouTuber. I have two phones, and one of them has to be an iPhone, the other one has to be an Android, but my main driver is still going to be my Pixel 4. And I still use my iPad Pro every now and then. However, I mostly use it when I was traveling out and actually like doing most of my edits there, so I haven't really given it as much use as I did once upon a time. And when it comes to headphones and earbuds, for editing, I actually use the Audio-Technica ATH M40Xs because they give me a pretty fantastic sound for editing in particular. However, when I'm just out and about, I tend to use my Google Pixel Buds, but recently I did actually get my hands on the Razer Opus, so I've kind of been alternating between the two, and that's pretty much it in that regard. And now, the next one. What is your daily life like? Well, my daily life is comprised of a very busy schedule, unfortunately. So, as of now, I pretty much wake up every day at around 8 in the morning, and I work with my father, and after I'm done working with my father, I can come back home, and then I can get some work done on the videos, And once I'm done working on the videos, I have to answer a bunch of emails and take a look at what videos I have to do for the next day, or take a look at my schedule in regards to that, and talk again with my dad to see if he's got any more work lined up for tomorrow. And if he doesn't, then that means more work for videos, at least more time for videos. But if he does, then that means a little bit less time for videos also. So it is kind of based around whether how much he ends up needing me and how much time I actually have throughout the day. And that's essentially how I manage my days. Like normally I would want for them to be less random than what it is, as I do like scheduling myself and having a kind of routine, but with my current life and how things are, it's almost impossible to follow one, unfortunately. So yeah, my daily life is quite hectic for sure. And the last question is actually going to be, as a tech YouTuber, what's the advice you would give for growing your channel and growing an audience, as well as getting new tech to review? So this is definitely going to be a longer answer. And essentially, well, to try and answer these in order, the best advice that I can give is for you to be as consistent as you can, but almost having a brand is almost as important as consistency, in my opinion. Because if you have a brand, if you have a style, I think that that's a very important thing, because it separates you from the rest of the crowd. I think it just does a lot better for you. However, consistency is almost just as important, because if you tend to upload a lot, or if you have like an upload schedule, and if your audience always has content to look forward to, then that is always going to be a great thing. It's going to want to keep people around. And I think that both of those are just as important, so I can't just give you one. Please keep both into consideration. Branding and consistency are super important, but I'm kind of slightly sort of leaning a little bit more towards branding. And as for getting new tech to review, well, if I'm completely honest, I started off this whole, like tech summit shenanigans by borrowing a lot of the tech. I used to borrow phones from my family and friends, same thing with laptops, tablets, headphones even. Like, I would borrow whatever I could and I would make a video on it. And I think that that's totally okay. I mean, I didn't have like the kind of money to just buy things at the time just to review them. I mean, nowadays, I do actually purchase a lot of tech, and then I sell it back once I'm done with it, which is why I no longer have things like the AirPods Pro and the Microsoft Surface Buds and that sort of thing. So I guess it's just about like figuring out a way of getting that tech without it hurting your wallet too bad. And when it comes to reaching out to other companies about receiving tech, or them reaching out to you about sending you tech, I would say that it's a lot easier for companies to come to you than what it is for you to go to any other company. And the reason for that is because these companies will come to you for different reasons. And it's going to be based off of a couple of different factors. From my experience, it's going to be based on the consistency of your channel and the quality of your videos, at the very least, what you can manage, also your niche, and just like what kind of products you review. And you might get emails every now and then about reviewing products that you don't necessarily get yourself involved in. Like, for instance, I have been offered to review like hair care products or like makeup products and that sort of thing. So like, it does happen, but just politely say no to anybody that tries offering you that kind of thing if that's not your niche. But if it is, or if it's something that interests you and your audience, then hey, I mean, by all means, go for it. And that's essentially how that goes. And it's all really done over time. And I hate to use this word, but having a hustle or hustling is very important when it comes to doing YouTube. You want to be consistent and you want to be aggressive with your content and your branding and that sort of thing. However, I'm sure that there are many bigger channels who can give you much better advice, and since they've been here for much longer than I have, and they understand the platform a lot better than I do. However, these are just my 2 cents from a channel with just 5,000 subscribers. So, hey, I mean, take what I say as merely my personal experience. And with that said, that's pretty much everything that got asked of me this time around. Now, I do plan on doing another Q&A at around 10,000 subscribers, since 6,000 might be a little bit too soon. However, I wanted to thank everybody for sticking around for so long and for helping get me to 5,000 subscribers in the first place. To me, this is a massive milestone because, like, when you think about it, that's 5,000 people who like your content and who like what you do. That's a lot of people, even if it's not massive in the grand scheme of things in comparison to what YouTube is capable of getting you, or what you're getting, or what you're capable of getting on YouTube. I am super happy with the 5,000 I have now, and I look forward to growing even further with all of you next to me. So thank you so much for everything. And I do hope that you enjoyed this episode, as it was a little bit more fun than our typical tech reviews. And with that said, I think that it is about time that I take a pretty short break, at the very least of around a week or so. I haven't been posting very consistently for quite a while, but I mean, every human being needs some time to just cool off, and since I finally just graduated college, I can most certainly use some time to actually start to feel that I graduated. So with that said, hope that you will understand, but when I come back, there is plenty of content to actually come back to, so I hope that you are excited to see that content as much as I'm excited to produce that. With that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me in this episode. Thank you for 5,000 subscribers, and I wish you all a great day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.